And the playoffs for the World Cup for the European spots has been confirmed. I can't lie. I'm looking at some of the matchups in here and potential matchups in the final if both teams progresses. I can't lie. They're looking fire. It's looking absolute fire. Let's talk about the left-hand side first, the bracket one, part one, as they called it. Italy versus Northern Ireland. And listen, man, that's past history. There's past history with that game. But of course, Italy will be playing at home. So I think they've got that advantage. Northern Ireland, I can't lie, how they progressed in the first place to reach that spot was crazy as it is. But listen, the last two World Cups for Italy, they haven't progressed. The last time they progressed to the World Cup was, of course, 2014, and that was a disappointment on its own. Italy must win, and I can't lie. I can't imagine a World Cup without having Italy there. And Gattuso, I don't know if he's been hitting. I don't know if he's not been hitting. Of course, losing to Norway twice, and I've seen what some Italian content creators have been saying about Italy, and this is by far the worst generation which they've had, and the worst era which they've had, which begs the question whether they're actually good enough to even get there. But I do think beating Northern Ireland, I think, come on, man. Like, if you can't beat Northern Ireland, well, wallahi al-azim, you don't even deserve to be in the playoff to pretty much start off with. So I'm going to edge it to Italy beating Northern Ireland. I don't know where the game will take place. Maybe in San Siro before they take it down. Maybe in Turin. But Italy with the home advantage, I think they'll win that game. Wales against Bosnia. Bosnia was very unfortunate, by the way. Like, Bosnia was very unfortunate because there was one moment, the game against Austria, where they could have gone automatically through to the World Cup, but then Austria came back. Bosnia are good. But Wales, I can't lie, man. The last couple of games, they've been winning games, and they've managed to make that difference because at one point, they were just completely out of it. And out of nowhere, they came back into it once they sacked their manager. I think they sacked the manager. I think they sacked Craig Bellamy, if I'm not mistaken. Or I might be completely bugging. But, of course, they had that big win at home in the last game. I think they won 3 or 4-1 at home to Bosnia. Listen, if this game was being played at Bosnia, I would have said Bosnia to win. Or if that game was being played at a neutral ground, I would have had Bosnia to win. But the only reason why I'm going to edge it to Wales is those Welsh fans are crazy. Those, like, the UK fans, the Scotland, the Ireland, the Irish fans, the Wales, I think it gives you another, like, listen, I know it's cliche, but the 12th man, I think it's actually true. So I'm going to edge it. I think the final in this bracket will be between Italy and Wales. Then we've got the second bracket, Ukraine, Sweden. Sweden getting to this point is actually disgusting. It's actually like it's embarrassing because they finished last in the European groups, but the only reason why they got to this space to this moment is because they finished first in the Nations League group. And apparently, I didn't even know this. I only found out about this recently. Apparently, if you finish first in the Nations League, it gives you an added incentive for the European for qualifications or the World Cup qualifications, which makes no sense. Like, they're trying to basically hype up the Nations League, basically tell the nations, take the Nations League seriously because you might get some sort of advantage later on. And now Sweden have got that advantage, but I didn't know about it. Like, no, I'm pretty sure if you asked the normal fan, did you know about? No one would have known about this, but I don't know how they managed to get it. Anyway, Graham Potter, of course, the manager, and so far since he's been in charge, he lost his first game. The second game, I don't know whether he won or not at home, but I think the first half, I left it at first half 0-0. Ukraine, I don't think the game would be played at home because, of course, with the whole Ukraine situation, I don't know, they might play in Poland or something like that. I'm going to give it to Sweden. I think because of the players, I think it's the players' tax. On this one, I'm going to go with players' tax straight away. So I'm going to edge it to Sweden on this one. Poland, Albania, I'm going to give it to Poland on this one. I'm going to be real just straight away. Poland, playing at home. Poland, for some reason, yeah. And again, this is just my theory. Let me know if you agree with it. Every time I watch Poland, And every time I look at the results in the qualifications, it's always fun. There's always a lot of goals. Like the last game, they had 3-2. They won 3-2 against Latvia, I believe it was. They came back from behind. So every time Poland is in the qualifications, they score a lot of goals. But when Poland gets to the Euros or the World Cup, we always see a 0-0 or 1-0, like a boring affair. But Poland in the European qualifications or World Cup, it's always fun. I don't know why they can't take that to the main major tournaments. But on this one, I'm going to give it to Poland. I think they'll beat Albania. Then we've got the other bracket, Turkey against Romania. Let's not waste any time, boys and girls. Let's not waste any time. Turkey, come on, man. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. When you've got Arda Güler, when you've got Kylian Yildiz, when you've got Hakan behind you, and the talents which they have under the disposal, let's just call it a day. Romania, big up. Salute, brothers. But it's light work. Playing at home as well. Like Turkey will be playing at home that game. It's light work. Just call it a day, bro. Call it a day. Let's not waste any time. Let's not waste any time. I'm going to be the biggest Turkish fan there is. Then we've got Slovakia against Kosovo. Big up Kosovo. Because how they made it, they had a big win against Sweden. Because that was the group which they had Sweden in it. And they actually beat Sweden, I think, away from home, which is a massive result. They're playing Slovakia. And Slovakia was, of course, unfortunate because Slovakia, they headed into the last game having the same amount of points as Germany. And same points. Like, it was kind of crazy. Like, the fact that Slovakia are not getting to the World Cup, haven't won 4 games or 5 games or whatever it was, is kind of unfortunate. They're playing Kosovo. I think I'm going to edge it to Slovakia. I think playing at home. I think, by the way, having the home advantage is important. The only one which I didn't edge it to was Ukraine-Sweden, because Ukraine don't have the home advantage, because I think they might be playing in a neutral ground. But Slovakia against Kosovo, I'm going to go with Slovakia. And then Denmark against North Macedonia. I don't even know why and how Denmark are not in this spot. Of course, they had that crazy game against Scotland where they lost 4-2 and they had a man send off. But Denmark should have never been in this position. Like, Denmark should have had it. Like, when they looked at their groups, with all due respect to the other countries in that group, they should have looked at that group and said, you know what, we're making it through to the World Cup. The fact that they're in the playoffs and the fact that they finished second is kind of embarrassing for Denmark. Listen, I lived in Denmark for 6 years, so I can say it. But they're playing North Macedonia. I'm going to give it to Denmark. I think Denmark is going to win that game. By the way, all those games, like the first game, is one leg. Like, it's all one leg. It's no like home and away. It's all one leg. So it's only one game that takes into account. That's no like 2 games. And last game, Czech against Republic of Ireland. Ireland, of course, had that insane result away from home to Hungary, where they managed to come from behind, and Troy Parrott scored a hattie and had that last second winner against Hungary. I can't lie. That will listen. I know the game is done, but it will still have some sort of momentum. I know it sounds crazy, but winning in that fashion and the way they did it away from home, and now having to play again away from home to Czech, I think that will have some sort of result, and that will carry with the players. Like, the players will feel like the feeling that this might be it. Like, this, we might have something there. And I think I'm going to go with Ireland. I'm going to go with Ireland to win that game. And then there is the final game between each of the bracket, where I think, I don't know, confirm it. If you guys know down in the comment section, let me know down in the comment section where that game will be played. But I think that will be playing in a neutral ground. Actually, no. I think I read it. Again, let me know down in the comments. I think there might be a draw after each game is done, where a draw will be made and they'll find out who will be playing away or home. I think that's the case. But the second game, so the final of each part will be Italy against Wales, in my predictions. And I'm going to give that to Italy. I think Italy will finally make it through to the World Cup. If they don't, then, bro, just call it a day. Italy, that generation, just call it a day. Like, retire from international football for the next 10 years and come back again. Then we've got Sweden against Poland, and I don't think Sweden will win. I think Poland, they always somehow make it through. And Sweden, they're just bad, bro. Like, they're just bad. Like Isaac, Victor, and bro, they've got some good players, but they can't like put it into actual on the pitch. But I'm gonna go with Poland on that one. So Italy, Poland through. Turkey against Slovakia, call it a day. Turkey are going to the World Cup. I don't care what you say. You can't convince me. You can't tell me otherwise. Turkey are making it through. And the last game is Denmark against Ireland. Wow, this is actually a big game. Bro, if that game is being played in Ireland, in Dublin, or whatever they might be playing, fam, oh my goodness, that will be crazy. Like, if that game is being played in Ireland, but which one am I gonna go with? You know what? I'm gonna go with Denmark, bro. I can't see Denmark not going to the World Cup, so I'm gonna go with Denmark. So my predictions are Italy for bracket 1, Poland for bracket 2, Turkey for bracket 3, and Denmark for bracket 4. Put down in the comment section who you guys think will be going through from each bracket. And listen, I feel like not having Italy, and not having Turkey, and not having I think some of them are like heritage, like World Cup heritage. I know Italy hasn't made it for the past 2 years, but the past 2 like editions, but still having Italy is a must. And I think they will do it. Like the bracket, I think it's kind of nice. Turkey, I'm not worried. Like, I'm a Turkish fan. I'm not scared. I think Turkey will make it. Poland and Sweden is like it's a nice little, like, Poland and Sweden will be a nice final. And then last, Denmark. If Ireland plays at home, like I said, if Ireland has to beat Czech in the first place. But if they beat Czech and they get to the final and they play Denmark at home, then crazy. But that's my predictions: Italy, Poland, Turkey, and Denmark. Put down in the comment section what you guys think of the brackets. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Of course, the draw for the World Cup will be announced in the next 2 weeks. I'll be making a watch along on the main channel. So catch me there, and I'll see you soon.